Hello, everyone. I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. Many of us, memorize that 23rd Psalms, and I woke up today thinking about the scripture that says, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies." You might look at your situation and our lives and we think, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to feel this pain, this disappointment? Why do I have to feel anxious? Why do I have to feel angry? Why do I have to carry this grudge? Why, David said that you prepared a table, you, God, prepared a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Now, God, you made the ocean and the beach. Why couldn't I enjoy your blessings while I'm hanging out at the beach? You made the mountains. Why couldn't I enjoy your blessings in a tucked away place on the mountainside overlooking a beautiful, lush meadow? You made the stars and the moon. Why couldn't I enjoy your blessings sitting under the stars and the moon? Why can't you prepare a table for me in those beautiful settings that you've created, God? And there's blessings in those places as well. But David said, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies," not just one, but in the presence of mine enemies. Um, Growing up in Jackson, Tennessee, in our little house, our little, what we would considered a shack, and we didn't have screens, we didn't have air conditioning, and there would be times that pesky flies would come in, and we would be eating at the table the food that my mother prepared while fanning flies. You may have been outside at a picnic and ants, and you're gonna fan the flies, but the food is still good. Regardless to those flies that are acting in the nature of who they are, the food that my mother had prepared for us was still good. Regardless to what is going on around us, the food is still good. The table, the blessing that God has prepared for us is still good. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. We all know Michael Jordan and Serena Williams and the what they do in their respective sports is just nothing short of amazing when they were at the height of their careers. If you saw Serena play me and she did very well, you wouldn't be impressed. If you saw Michael Jordan shooting on me while I'm trying to block his shot, you wouldn't be that impressed. But what God has allowed us is to be in the company of those who are trying to block us. See, Satan knows what your blessing is. Satan knows what is in store for you because Satan got kicked out. Remember, Satan's defeated. So Satan knows what's in store for you. So the goal is to block you, to distract you, to keep you from seeing what the blessings are on the table that's been prepared before you. And you say, "But Pamela, you don't know, I've been deceived. I've been lied on. I've been cheated on. I've been talked about." And I hear Christ saying to us, "Welcome aboard." The word made flesh came here to redeem us. So as the scripture that my father often quoted, "Surely as a man is born into trouble, as surely as sparks fly up." We got to stop being shocked. We got to stop being surprised when the trials and tribulations of this journey come. The scripture tells us that God is closer to us than the breath that we breathe. So one of the first things when you get shocked, just pause and pay attention to your breath. and just do some slow inhales and exhales. Yes, because God is closer to us than the breath that we breathe. So, in that breathing, remind yourself, I'm not doing this by myself. I'm not alone in this test, in this moment. I'm not alone. And that's number two. Acknowledge that it's a test. Go, I see you, devil. I see you. This is just a test. When I worked in television and they would do the little test, this is just, this is not an emergency. It's just a test. Because in broadcasting, you need to test all the equipment to make sure the signals are still going out. So when we see these things that are happening, if we could just step back and say, it's a test. It's just a test. And then I'm going to recognize that part of my greatest responsibility in the test is to say, I trust you. I trust you, God, that you have a plan, that you're not going to leave me, nor are you going to forsake me. And as my little grandson, BJ, says, when you give him some food that he likes, it's good. It's good. And we have to do that. We have to say, it's good. And recognize, really and truly, examine God's record, because all of the other things that we've gone through, they passed as well. This too shall pass. And we are anticipating the blessing on the other side. And the greatest blessing is when we can find a praise, when we can acknowledge that this table that's been prepared for me in the presence of mine enemies, when I can endure that and enjoy God's blessing in the moments in the presence of mine enemies, that is an accomplishment. That is what brings us joy. That's where we find peace. And we can say, even in the midst of this, I'm going to praise you, God. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to thank you that you selected me for this particular test. I would love to have a heart to heart with you, because we have to do as the scripture says. We have to forgive quickly. We have to let it go. So I really would love to have the opportunity to speak with you, to help unpack all of the things that are blocking your peace and happiness. We can map out all of the steps that you need to take to heal from any anger and confusion and the chaos that prevents you from enjoying the blessing of the table that's been prepared before you. And this invitation is for women and men, boys and girls, children, that need to release the anger and resentment, because it is claiming our health. It is taking its toll on the cells in our bodies when we are not able to enjoy the peace and the abundance that belongs to us. I have limited space, and you can call and or message me and block out some time so that we can get you to the place of great peace. Have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. Look in the link and let's connect. Let's get to this place of peace and healing that surpasses all understanding. Also, we are having a Peace Takes Practice event this weekend. You can go to Eventbrite and register. It is at 3 o'clock Eastern Time online. I hope you'll be able to join us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. If you're not a member of our Peace and Healing Facebook group, I invite you to join that as well. So until next time, I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. Remember, there is healing at the well. Make it a fantastic moment. We'll see you next time.